we'll be finding out as we're going to pick some bans. Galio, Ivern banned by the GIGABYTE Marines, and another pair of Yordles for SuperMassive with the Ziggs and Kennen off the table.
Ziggs and Kennen removed. Stock standard. Also a couple of adaptations from the Marines, however, with this ban phase. Remember, they get the first pick for the first time in this series, but Ivern Rumble just beating the champions that beat them, just immediately removed.
And a quick Syndra ban by SuperMassive in the first rotation. They don't want to give this over to GIGABYTE Marines. We'll see if your prediction comes true, if they lock in the early Ashe for Slay. Looks like instead they might be favoring the Gragas. That's their first pickup for Stark.
Yeah, still two champions of massive priority. The Gragas, I'm not surprised that they will first pick for. It was more speculation that perhaps Ashe was even a higher priority than Gragas, but they don't want to risk SuperMassive being on red side taking the Gragas from them. They want to make sure that Stark is set up for success as best he can. As this should, I'm surprised.
I mean, critical that all these 80 carries were left up and available in this pick and ban phase, but it is the first pick Ashe. Coming in for Zeitnot, what are they going to pair it with here? That's the question, but LeBlanc had also made it through. Blind pick for Naru early on, here it is.
Yeah, they picked the LeBlanc. They also get the Ashe. Now again, Caitlyn was there, a champion that has been religiously taken away from Zeitnot as it's above and beyond his best. But the Ashe, yes, he is good on it. It's also taken away from Slay. So naturally, they will pick up the 2-for-1 with that AD carry of choice. LeBlanc being picked, there are options into it. They could honestly go Lulu Karma as a rotation if they're really feeling up to it and just try and hold on through that laning phase. Lulu mid, notoriously good. Vedius has spoken about it as to how it works into LeBlanc. Karma does the same thing as to how it works. They have choices.
They could pair with the same lane that they were dealing with last time around. With the Lulu locked in now, hovering on the Varus, and it's locked for Slay.
They pick themselves their bottom lane, so Lulu Varus naturally in the face of an Ashe, they're going to try and go towards a bit more kill pressure. We saw it last game, honestly. Zeitnot, Dumbledoge taking out Slay and Archie as they hit level 6 first. The kill threat is definitely a genuine thing to be considered. But we're yet to see a jungler in the first 3 rotations, which is very different.
Yeah, now we have the Zyra locked in for Dumbledoge. So the Ashe Zyra lane once again making an appearance. We're in a ban phase 2. Is this where the jungle pool starts to get hit? So far it was only the Ivern that was banned out of all those champions.
Well, SuperMassive have the first rotation. If they're looking to go towards a jungler as their 4th pick, they can immediately ban away the ones they don't want to play. But for their first ban, it's pretty risky. I would almost consider mid laners, such as
the Karma. Especially when you're talking about dealing with LeBlanc, there's still the possibility of the Lulu being that support, but then you deny the extra shields from the Karma. So that's SuperMassive's choice. Back over to GIGABYTE Marines for their ban.
You can try and play what you like into the Karma, the LeBlanc rather, if you're feeling lucky. But the Karma, as we mentioned, a higher priority seems to be on the Varus for the Marines, opposed to that Karma, and rightly so, it does get removed off the borders. We aren't going to see the junglers banned just yet. We may see one from SuperMassive if they have a preference, but nope.
That's the Shen, followed up by the Ahri ban. SuperMassive throwing a lot of things at Optimus. A lot of bans spent his way.
Nautilus go with it is the question with these top lane bans. They try and force Mr. Fabulous onto something else. Fizz also actually needs to be thought of.
Definitely something you want to consider. Nautilus is the one that they ban away. So Fabulous kind of gets hit towards that latter half of the ban phase.
Keeping in mind that Optimus is also a Fizz player, so perhaps by banning the Nautilus opposed to the Fizz, they throw the gauntlet down and say, if you don't pick it, we might. Kind of force the tempo onto them.
More questions be answered soon. With all the junglers making their way through, looks like Stomage wants to try his hand once more at the Lee Sin. Remember, all the way back to game 1 of the series, he was having a hard time, but not because of the champion, more so because Levi was just giving him no rest.
Well, it's because the strategy revolved around keeping Stomage down in its entirety. Level 1, invade him. Level 2, go to his blue buff, take everything from him. It happened in the last game, but his team collapsed around him a little bit better. So expectations will be exactly this one more time. The jungle is picked first, but now we get to finally see what's happening in this middle lane for Optimus. Where does his heart desire him to go?
Well, he always has the potential to match Assassin for Assassin, a guy that's very known for high mechanical ability. It's always possible. They have themselves some magic damage, so it wouldn't be the end of the world for sure. But does he play it safe? Does he go for the Lulu? Do they instead take Archie a different support? No, something completely different. It's a Lissandra.
Curious that someone would actually go towards the Lissandra. I personally am actually a big fan of the champion. I would say with the slight buffs that Lissandra had, I don't think they mean a single thing, especially not in this patch right now. But Lissandra being picked into LeBlanc, namely, has pretty good wave tempo, can run teleport, can split push, and can kind of match the pressure that a LeBlanc places down now with what is usually the Gunblade Lichbane build.
And then over to SuperMassive, the final pickup. They just needed themselves a tank. With a lot of them banned away, fall back to the next. It ends up being the Maokai for Fabulous.
Maokai by no means bad, just not as good as Nautilus. Gragas, you would expect, actually has a bit of control during that laning phase, but in his own right, Fabulous should be okay. We don't usually look at this top lane between Stark and Fabulous and say someone's going to outright beat the other person. We still always bring our attention towards from the jungle down on your champions list, because junglers, I'd say, are most important. Naru has been very inconsistent at the moment, where Optimus just spontaneously dies at level 1s, but barring that has been quite solid. And the bottom lane 2v2 has honestly been surprising with how it's panned out.
Yeah. And for the first time, we're going to have the teleports matched 2 for 2 on both sides of the map, so we could be in for some real crazy 5v5s, whereas last time we could really kind of predict that at a certain moment, a team was going to have an edge coming into things, but that can be very different. Seems like the plan for SuperMassive, though, is still going to try to roll this LeBlanc forward as best as possible. Not going to be the easiest thing up against Optimus on this Lissandra.
And it'd be bittersweet for the Gigabyte Marines at match point to play the same champions that SuperMassive did in the 2v2 and beat them with it this time around, but it's always a possibility. And it's a statement game, to say the least, if that's the case.
We'll see how it all pans out. Slay and Archie have definitely been surprising Zeitnot and Dumbledoge, but maybe this is where things turn around once again. We saw what happened when they can hit the fast level up, get themselves an edge over their opponents. But you're going to need more than that to take out the Marines right now. They want to even this series up and get themselves a chance to move on to the next stage at the mid-season Invitational. And we are out of the gates for Game 4.
We absolutely are, and again, we hinted towards the potential for 1-3-1s as this game progresses. This is the Gigabyte Marines matching what SuperMassive did in game number 4, potentially trying to best them at their own game. Instead of having the Syndra, instead of having somebody that runs Ignite, trying to survive as teleports happen, as rotates happen, and pull them around the map awkwardly, they have said we'll meet you in the middle. And it is all about, realistically, how these mid laners perform, because if the LeBlanc is fed, everybody explodes. But if the Lissandra gets fed, not even sure that LeBlanc can side lane against it, as it is an adorable skin.
Yep. This is a much cuter tree. I'll give you that one, Rusty.
Is that a chroma?
Yeah, I think so.
I had no idea that had chroma.
He's got multiple pajamas.
He does.
Yeah, who has one set?
I mean, green makes more sense, too, for what it's worth, as Gigabyte Marines are now doing a level 1.
Heading their way up top. Optimus, Levi, Stark, all here. Nobody's in this brush. No one's anywhere near this brush, to be honest. And you can also see SuperMassive are kind of taking the safe point, trying to get that assist on the Raptor camp. Naru's not far away from Fabulous and Stomage.
And they'll probably do this. They might actually go the long way to the Raptors, actually catch them as the Raptors spawn. As both of them leave this bush, that's where they might actually enter the area.
Oh boy, they see him.
They know.
Levi, all of a sudden, it's 2v3. Stark gets a big bop on, but in goes Stomage looking for Levi straight into the back line as Naru's there, and it looks like they don't want to finish it off. Instead,
oh no.
Start on the Raptor camp.
We're fighting for it.
Okay. That's anything else to go. A couple of Raptors go in the way of Stomage, but Levi's got some help. The smite's down, stealing it away.
And Levi wins the smite battle, but not just that. Lee Sin doing this red buff by himself. You'll watch his health bar go down pretty quickly. You compare that to Graves, who can walk over to his blue and not actually really take any damage at all. He should be perfectly fine. So for what it's worth, this is still a lead for the Gigabyte Marines.
Yeah, it's exactly the way that they wanted to start it off. They started in game 1, setting Stomage behind. It could be the same story again here. Maybe not as far behind, but he's going to have a rough path ahead, and Stomage needs to have an impact early on this Lee Sin. And Rusty, especially if they want to be able to contest down to the bottom. Once again, we have a very important Drake.
That's another mountain Drake. If it's not a mountain, it's an infernal. One big thing though, I mean, I didn't really mention it. Stomage, whilst he loses a bit more health, he's forced to smite. Oh, bottom fighting.
Okay. Good old level 2 fight. Zeitnot burning 2 summoners to get out of there.
This is also the side of the map where the junglers will go, what is currently on your screen. So if summoners are burnt, just keep your eyes peeled.
Okay, Optimus and Naru still dueling with each other, but we'll take a look at the jungle right now as Zeitnot is going to get first blooded. Stomage comes right on in, and they equalize on 80 carries.
Archie in trouble.
Archie's by himself. He's going to have to dodge out the Sonic Wave, and he
He was expecting the juke. Again, the flash was always going to be there from Archie, but the resilience to hold the summoner, even a prediction on the juke wasn't going to be enough for Lee Sin. He was playing a pretty tough mental game. Still gets a kill for his troubles, as we get to see once again. The first blood, Lee Sin just shows himself now. Unfortunately, another Q missing from him. I don't think he actually hit one down in this trade, but comes in to make sure the kill is his nonetheless, as this is expecting a juke. And apparently Dumbledore's dead.
Okay, so we know who the better support is here. Once and for all, totally settled. Man, we just keep missing them by inches. Archie coming up with that kill, and you can see that summoners were burned on both sides once again. Dumbledore just flashes down, so is Archie's. But now you've got level advantage for the support.
Now you have to wonder, was Dumbledore's trying to hold a minion wave and die into the minion wave?
Oh, Optimus! He turns back around. Naru wasn't expecting Levi to be right in front of his face.
Adventurous flash forwards from Levi. I don't think he needed to commit that hard, but also helping to reset the 1v1 in this middle lane where Lissandra hasn't really been having a great time. Stone Mage now trying to make his mark on it as it pushes in.
For Levi, Naru's here. He's healthy enough for the time being. There's a Q. It's point blank, able to connect. Still not enough to finish, and the claw comes out to deter Stone Mage to Naru any further.
And they thought Optimus had already gone back to base, so they tried to time it their best as we get to see how this happens. Archie has a level advantage.
Oh, Pix hurts.
What a baller.
He was on a ward that entire time.
This guy.
Gotta give it to him. All right, so all things said and done, we're 2-1, but the bottom lane decides to keep on fighting. Slay's a little low here.
He has got a Vamp Scepter. He's also gone for the refillable potion route. One other thing that I have to mention, because it's my favorite thing about watching competitive games, 5 control wards from the Gigabyte Marines. Archie just removes 1 from his inventory, and there's still 4 present. This is how you win games in competitive. You buy control wards everywhere, and because they have the slight edges across Summoner's Rift as it first started, they have enough gold to be able to afford those control wards.
Vision's definitely the important part of the game.
Very difficult for Stone Mage to gank through all of that when they get placed.
Yeah. Still, Stone Mage has been making his presence known. He came bot early on, get that 1 kill, but he's not the only one that likes to go roaming. Optimus clearing away the Scryer's Bloom to make sure nobody's in that side of the Supermassive jungle.
Also clearing the pit near the blue buff area, so not only revealing vision, but also resetting when the blue buff spawns. It's just Dumbledore by himself. Slay still has the life steal.
It's all good for now. Now Levi returns to the scene of the crime. Level 1, trying to deny Raptors once again. He's able to get a 1 back. Stone Mage is not going to idly let that one go, but he realizes he needs to finish the Raptors off.
He's going to idly let that one go.
Yep.
Just one hops for effect.
I was incorrect assuming he'd be chasing that down. Level 5 now.
2 level advantage in mid lane for the record. Naru is bodying Optimus. He's just got 5.
Yeah, that's what you need to do with the LeBlanc too. And Stone Mage tries to go turnabout, but Levi was there once again. Half his health bar's gone. Teleport in for Stark.
Here.
They want to collapse on. They find Stone Mage, and Stark is going to get the finisher.
Archie even nearby to rotate. Varus was also making his way up. The Gigabyte Marines. You can feel Stone Mage getting flustered. Like, you can just tell that he was a little bit annoyed that Levi reared his head and was like, well, you want to take 2 of my Raptors, I'm going to take 2 of yours. And that's why he dies.
Can't play the game the Gigabyte Marines want you to play. Lured him right into the trap, and we're able to take him down. That's the first kill of the game for Stark. It'll make it a little easier for him to push in Fabulous. As always, that has been a very quiet lane. Optimus goes in for the Frozen Tomb. Chains are on, but it doesn't matter. With the help of Levi, he tags him out.
LeBlanc is one of the most mobile champions in League of Legends, but Lissandra is also one of the best champions to lock you down. Bottom is fighting as well. You just let me talk. It's all right. Woosah.
Okay, you can go again.
No, I've lost it.
All right, well, whatever. We're right back to the top lane. Stark is finding Fabulous. Turning in, burning for just a little bit more. Archie's going to back off, so Slay has to be careful now. But this is what you see. The reason Optimus taking that Lissandra, exactly that. He's able to get the lockdown. Levi comes in. Yeah, just gets the assist, but it doesn't matter. Shutting down LeBlanc's key to this game.
One of those things as well, like Maokai has historically been one of the better picks, not mid lane obviously, but one of the better picks into LeBlanc as a team composition counter, because LeBlanc has to overexert herself to place the poke down onto most people, as we'll see if this gets him.
Nope,
Stark
doesn't care.
He actually pretended it didn't exist. But the reason that Maokai is a counter to LeBlanc is because she goes in, you're guaranteed to lock it down. That's the thing with Lissandra ultimate as well. If you're able to hit the right LeBlanc, then you will lock her down. That means the W is naturally going to hit afterwards. And with these 2 amounts of crowd control next to Levi, who's playing the Graves, the burst will be enough to kill any LeBlanc.
Setback for Naru right now. As you talked about him being a little inconsistent in this series. Kind of all on the line right now. We need to see him stepping up, but he's getting locked down by Optimus. Even with the level advantage, it just wasn't enough. And now you can see Naru trying to find kills elsewhere on the map. Throws down a couple of wards. Not going to go roaming just yet.
He's waiting. Stone Mage is here as well, but so is Levi. This could be a 2v2.
Chains on. Optimus gets out of range. Nice and quiet. No one's going to pull the trigger just yet. SuperMassive
red buff
are still down. Now Stone Mage. Is this where he gets revenge?
It might be.
Sonic Wave.
He'll probably go for the smite. No, he's not even going to commit to the smite war. Level disadvantage is enough to deter him.
Stone Mage looks like he's playing scared.
Just a little bit. I feel like he learned his lesson. He's still perfectly fine. It's 1 level disadvantage, sure, but he has still got a kill. He's got some long swords.
Okay, send the Q, dodging from Levi. There we go. End of the line. That's a lot of damage from Levi. Even trade at the end of it all.
They both have red buffs too, so the regeneration will be there when they're out of combat. Everything will be okay, but the real winner here is Levi because it's in his jungle. That's a teleport bottom from Optimus.
Yeah, he may not even be needed right now as Zeitnot's going to flash one way, but looks like the rest of the team's going to be there to really slow it down. Optimus trying for a way in, but the plants keep pushing him back. Naru's there. Chains flashed over. Stone Mage is the target, and Slay takes him down. Now Fabulous has a big maelstrom on, but he's exhausted away, and Levi chases over the wall with the flash to follow through. 2 kills for none picked up, and GIGABYTE Marines are looking for bot turret.
Yeah, clean from the Marines, honestly, just going down to the bottom lane. Naru's not going to be able to do a single thing mid, and Stark had chased Zeitnot the whole way up the river, basically, as now they threaten the bottom lane turret. This is exactly what the Marines do best. They get a pick, and that pick translates into multiple because they're just so damn aggressive, and suddenly turrets fall, and gold leads form.
Just like that, you got 3,000 in the lead at 10 minutes. Here was the start of it all. Chains onto Zeitnot.
Almost deja vu of the last game, Pyro, I think it's safe to say, right? The way that we saw it for SuperMassive, as the teleport just came down to bottom.
Naru wanted to finish off Slay, but look at that, he's burning low with the minions. Get him. It's Slay getting the kill credit as Optimus is getting kicked back away, but he's still able to finish the claw. Stone Mage following through.
Stone Mage
Desperately needs to help get some kills on the board, but double doge going in, going too deep. Stone Mage follows, the shield is there. It's a double kill for Optimus. Things are falling apart for SuperMassive.
Lulu just shows up. It's like, I hear you want to kill. It'd be a shame if something would have happened to it.
And Stark was there.
Also here, yeah. The GIGABYTE Marines, they've turned it on.
This is looking like game 1, Rusty. 9 kills to 1. 11 minutes on the clock. The gold lead's getting out of control. This is a nightmare for SuperMassive.
The crowd loves it.
Every minute of it. GIGABYTE Marines looking to stamp their authority, close out this game. I'm saying it at 11 minutes, close out the series is what I mean, but let's take a look at this again right after the replay. Teleport finishes for the LeBlanc.
And the teleport's fine, but the timing, you have to say, on that W from Optimus was incredible, locking him down as he was distorting forwards. This is cute from Optimus. He can obviously follow the claw through, puts him next to Slay. And Double Doge decides that because he has Ignite, he has enough to get the kill. But he doesn't, as we're fighting again.
And Stark is killing Double Doge again. All right, right back to it. We continue the tradition. As soon as the replay happens, we have to see more.
It's like they know we're replaying a fight. They're onto us.
I think they're just not stopping the action right now. GIGABYTE Marines can get everything they want at the minute. Stone Mage gets kicked back onto Stark. Zeitnot's here. Do they dare to go deeper? It looks like the answer is no.
I don't think
Zeitnot's
so.
still chasing.
You know he'll go on you.
Stone Mage has no kick anymore. Oh, he goes in. There we go. Oh, the damage.
Really?
Hello.
Oh, Naru.
Going in. Zeitnot getting the credit. They're going to turn it on to Levy. Maybe this is the chance they need, but Naru realizes Optimus is there. Doesn't want to follow. It ends up being a 1-for-1.
Levi barely lives. They're diving top lane.
Yeah, and Fabulous, he might not live through this one. Slay still tanking tower. This has gone a little wonky.
Slightly haywire. The GIGABYTE Marines, however, what they have done is they've enacted a lane swap. They've got item spikes. They are so far ahead of the opposing team that they're able to force this onto their opponents. It's by no means wrong.
No, it's working out for them.
It's
Three
wild.
Lissandra. Abyssal Scepter completed, right? You've got the Blade of the Rune King already on the Varus. They're hitting these spikes a lot faster. SuperMassive, this game will spiral out of control if they don't stop the bleeding.
Yeah, definitely right. But how are they going to stop the bleeding when the pressure that comes out of a team with this much momentum is so high? It's not like we're watching SuperMassive with a 4K lead and GIGABYTE's getting opportunities to come back into the game. This is a fast-paced, aggressive Vietnamese side with all of the tools in their arsenal being used to only go forwards. They will fight you at every opportunity where you don't expect them to. And so to come back into a game like this, you really have to pull out something crazy or unexpected. And against a team that thrives in unexpected, SuperMassive need to actually turn it on. This could be an Ash Arrow opportunity.
He's holding on to it for now, content to just clear the turret. Remember, the tower lead is not huge right now. It is only 1-2, but that could change very quickly with a 3-stack for GIGABYTE Marines up top.
Exactly right, with 3 of them up here. Levi's hit a counter gank, he knows. They want that 1-3-1.
Just content to let the minions crash into it for now. Zeitnot and Dumbledoge going to have to be pushing it back here. The chains are on to Optimus. Was able to dodge some of the damage from that Lissandra. Flashback to the Frozen Tomb.
Of course, forcing him to go back, doesn't want to lose any health himself. Naru doesn't have a completed Gunblade, so the trades that go equal aren't exactly efficient just yet.
Yeah, that's a closing window too, right? LeBlanc, you want to get out of this laning phase with the lead, but he has a 2-death count. No kills on the board. And he hasn't even been winning his farm right now, so it's a little difficult right now if you're Naru.
Yeah, you're not even sure that he's going to actually complete the Gunblade. I doubt he will. In fact, it's not going to trick him, it's your own lane. I actually believe that where he's going now with the Fiendish Codex should be a completed other item. Should leave it at the Revolver. He's already too far behind to commit to completing an item that for ability power is not that efficient, because building the Cutlass in a situation like this doesn't feel great at all.
No, it definitely is not an ideal situation right now. SuperMassive, 2 kills on the board. That's it, handful for them. Stomage has been pushed back time and again in this series. At least he can secure some vision for his team. But they need to find answers, and it looks like this is a team that would thrive very much in the mid game if they were even, or even a little bit ahead, but it's very much not the case.
They're actually looking to dive, it seems, top lane.
They get it though.
Stomage has flash, so he can navigate this. It's about the Ash Arrow though.
This is a long collapse. Slay's coming forward, Ash Arrow to the back of Slay, teleport, double TP coming up. Slay's tanking for just a moment more. He will finally fall, but in comes Optimus. Immediate turn for Zeitnot and claws him down. Archie's gonna get followed up on by Stomage and Fabulous. Who's gonna win this one though? Optimus, nowhere else to go. Shut down by Fab. And it's Stark who's too late to the party. It's a 1-for-3 in favor of SuperMassive.
Yeah, for no particular reason, Levi is a split-pushing Graves right now. So yes, they get the kills, and that is a very good move from SuperMassive to try and pull themselves back into this game. It'll end up becoming a turret trade as the end goal and the primary objective for them. Forcing teleports as well. They may not even get the turret in the end. In fact, I don't think we'll see anything happen.
All right, opted to pull out from the turret, pushing. Not going to be enough here, and here's the start to the fight as Stomage looks to collapse in.
And this is quite simply the arrow hitting, followed with the Zyra. It's the crowd control that you see from them. Now, Optimus destroys Zynot. He no longer exists. Archie, basically a non-factor as well, but because there's just one too many extra people here, you have to imagine that if Graves was nearby, not actually pushing the bottom wave, that could have been a different story. But the story is all about SuperMassive in that fight. With a 4K gold deficit, they managed to retain that and get some gold.
Yeah, it's encouraging for SuperMassive that they can still take fights, burning 2 teleports, but they got to be careful. Zeitnot chased through, and collateral damage, everything thrown at him, including Levi with an end of the line. Zeitnot is going to limp away, but this tower's not so lucky.
It's a little bit much, don't you think? Stark now going to probably try and do it himself. He may just throw an explosive cask somewhere and see what happens. The arrow hits.
On to Optimus, in goes Naru. No deletion possible. The heal was even more there. As Fabulous comes in, the Frozen Tomb is down to heal up Optimus. Fabulous tries to recommit back in. The Maelstrom pops for not enough damage, and Slay will take down the SuperMassive top laner.
Optimus has an Abyssal Scepter. He also had his ultimate that he self-casted. So in terms of killing Lysandras, if it wasn't during the duration of the Ash Arrow, then it wasn't going to happen as Naru. Was it worth it, buddy?
If he got the kill, that's a maybe, but not this time around. Flashes and flashes all across the board. We're seeing some serious carnage this game, Rusty. It's just the majority of it. GIGABYTE Marines, they're finding themselves the wins, finding themselves the kills. The gold advantage still huge for this team. We haven't looked at Dragon for a little while, but of course it is an Infernal on the Rift. SuperMassive, they might desperately rush this.
And I don't know how much of this will be desperation. They are at the very least going to pull it out. They've got control wood vision there. If they try and fight this, remember, it is on the Scuttle Crab.
Stark's here.
SuperMassive probably don't want to fight this, is what I'm saying. They want to try and sneak it, not fight for it. But you know what? Here we are.
Looks like it's going to be a smite fight right now. And the fight will probably
Two levels to Levi.
Here we go. It's going to go the way of Stomage. He gets it at the last second, but now can SuperMassive get out?
You'd have to expect with the extra levels of Levi, the smite would have been enough, but the execute damage out of Lee Sin with his Sonic Wave proves to be what it takes for Stomage.
I would not go that way.
Directions.
Yeah, that's a clutch safeguard.
Threatening the middle lane inner though, that's the name of the game here for the Marines.
They can get it. Big for these guys. Turn it on as there is no Naru here. Tower falling all the way down to half health, but Fabulous coming right back on in. Twisted advance on the start. Stomage gets a big kick onto Levy, but he's still dishing the damage onto Zeitnot. There just is not enough for SuperMassive, and this platoon of Marines is charging in.
You can kick him in, but if the turret's dead, it's not a danger zone anymore. In fact, Levi was then kicked under the loving arms of his team, where he turned around and destroyed everybody in front of him. The Graves is huge, and unfortunately for Stomage, it's not going to be enough. The rest of the team weren't able to defend that one, and the bottom lane turret is still standing. SuperMassive, they are beyond a point where they're on the back foot. They are definitely desperate.
This is when you got to start making any play you possibly can. We've already seen that out of SuperMassive, but what else do they have left of them? We're 19 minutes and some change into this game, and it's such a massive disadvantage for the SuperMassive squad. Just trying to stay alive. They want to make it onto the next stage of MSI, but it is looking less and less likely.
And you know what I admire most, honestly, Pyro, is that on the cusp of going to the MSI main event, taking on all of these massive names, including the likes of SKT, the GIGABYTE Marines are still aggressive. They haven't changed. They are exactly what they need to be. And I feel like a lot of teams can look at a performance like this and actually learn from it. Because it proves that if you spend an entire season, and historically your entire career being aggressive, you don't come onto the main stage and play slow. You play what you are.
Something to be said for playing exactly the way that you are the most comfortable with. Sure, you might want to hide some strats. Sure, you might not want to reveal things to your opponents, but it doesn't matter if you're not good enough to play them at that high level.
No point hiding strategies in a game like this.
No, definitely not. Well,
teleports are in, that's two of them.
Okay, Stark and Optimus coming. Stomage sight not immediately bailing out, but all of a sudden Double Doge didn't get the memo. Optimus, with a little help from Levi, blow him away, and now it's going to be open season on this mid tower.
And they're just running straight down the middle lane. There's an outer turret alive in top, but there's no reason for them to go there. Stomage, you do not really want to take that engage, buddy. There's not a lot that can prevent the GIGABYTE Marines from taking down this inhibitor.
The walls are crumbling around SuperMassive. Not much base left to speak of as this inhibitor is going to fall. Death timers for Double Doge coming right back up, and it's all Naru and the rest of SuperMassive can do to just clear away minion waves, but all of a sudden GIGABYTE Marines aren't done.
And they just go straight to the enemy blue buff right now. They can potentially catch the minion wave in bottom and try and go towards the inner turret. But at the same time, I just have this feeling that they may not even want to do that, because if the opportunity presents itself, they'll just end the game through mid.
Looks like that might be the chance right now. With an inhibitor down, SuperMassive are going to the next available thing to defend. It's going to be that bottom tier 2 that we saw being pecked away out earlier on in the game, but GIGABYTE Marines having such a huge advantage here. It's hard to see them not pushing it short of a catastrophic mistake. And
there
they're going
it
to
is.
take the tower. They're going to get the bop, and now Zeitnot, the rest of the team, is going nowhere as GIGABYTE Marines start pushing them down. Stomage getting the kick, flashing out of harm's way, but Slay looking to chase down, even tanking tower shots. Levi getting a double kill as he flashes in for the collateral. GIGABYTE Marines want to end this right here, right now.
GIGABYTE Marines stand and deliver, and now they're about to send themselves potentially, if they can kill this Nexus, all the way to the main event.
It's only Naru trying to stay alive here, trying to keep their hopes alive, but it is going to be way too little. It is going to be way too late. That's the ace. GIGABYTE Marines, they stay true, they stay aggressive, and they punch their tickets. Over to Rio. Well, wait a minute. One last effort to try and push him back. That's it. GIGABYTE Marines with the victory.
And congratulations to our final winners, our final representatives at the MSI main event. Once again, the GIGABYTE Marines. They played their hearts out, but the aggressive style that you come to know and love these guys for always stays true every event that they go towards. It's a pleasure to see that they've never changed.
I can't wait to see how they take to the big stage against the likes of Team WE, SKT, all these teams, TSM, Flash Wolves. We saw how everybody played. I cannot wait to see what they can bring out. But today, they are big winners, 3-1 over SuperMassive.
And you can see they're not just winners in the heart of the crowd as well. They're also superstars. Levi is an absolute gun.